All right, let me pull up the chat. Good afternoon. I've got a little haul. There it goes. So weird. Sometimes it comes up and sometimes it doesn't. So I got my little card from Teresa today. It's gorgeous. And it looks like it's some kind of shimmery resist almost. And then maybe distressed oxide inks is what it looks like. Looks like maybe something through a stencil. And there's a shimmer to it. And then there's a flower and a thank you on top of it. And she also included an envelope made with some bug paper and some scraps of the bug stuff. And I think I'm going to put that in one of the journals. I did put Jersey's dangle on this journal that was done. And I thought that turned out cute. I just added 2 eyelets and wired it on through there. And that's just a bead from Jersey. And like I said, I think I'll put that. I got this out thinking that maybe that bug, like those bugs would be good on one of these pages. So I think I'll stick this paper in here and I'll put that on one of those. I'll save the envelope for another project. I got my mixed media kit from Creative Scrapbooks. Hello to everybody that came in. Gail, Kat, Lori, Shauna, Elaine, Joycey. How are you doing, Elaine? I haven't seen you recently in chat, but I haven't been on a lot, so school keeps me, unfortunately, very busy. All right. So this is what I got in the mixed media kit this month. And these are like, I want to say it's $28.99 a month. And I thought I was just ordering it the 1 month, but this is the third one I've gotten. And I think that's it. So this is Prima and they're little beads. This is a set of like pearls and this is another little set. So I don't know how I'll use those at this point. Right now, I'm just going to toss them aside. You never know. I don't bead much since it's so hard to see what you're doing. A little traveler's notebook. And it's just got blank inside. And I did figure out one of the things that she's doing is she's getting bigger sets. Like I realized when we were at Zandra's one day, she was showing a Vicky Bouton stencil, and that's what these are. The stencils that she sent, they're part of she's buying a set of 3 and splitting it, and each kit will get a different stencil. So she's probably buying it in bulk because I've got 2 from one set and 1 from another. I was able to like see them, but it's American Crafts Vicky Bouton. So a little, like I said, a little notebook. These were taped on the front. I'm assuming they're part of the kit. A little stamp set. Got a cute little bike. It's going to make me think of Ann Lear from now on. But great for like cards. Just a little, just a little basic set. Another one of these, which I got in that scrapbook set, so that gives me 2 of those. Some chipboard pieces, and they're Prima. And this is a stencil from Heidi Swap. Looks like it's really for her foil, like to use with the toner stuff is what she's got it is showing. And it's going to be, so I don't know if you reuse it. It's constellations. It's an art screen. So I'm assuming that you peel it and it's sticky. So I don't know if it's something that you would use over and over. I'll have to kind of investigate. It does not want to peel off this cardboard, but it's got to somehow come off of this. Instructions on back. Place the screen, apply the ink, transfer and pull. It's a lot like the other stuff with the chalk paste and stuff, it looks like. But it's got to have this back has to come off because it's got to be sticky. And I'm assuming that's reusable, but it's constellation. So I'll use that at some point on something. That's what came in that kit, and that was it. Like I said, I think that was my last one of those. I think I have one more paper kit coming. Then I was ordering the buttons that Kathy Arbor showed us, and then Jersey had them, and Colleen and Kathy we all have gotten them now. So I got a set, the assorted. So it's 3 different sizes of the wooden buttons, and I thought those were super cute and would be good embellishments because they're flat and they're easy enough to glue. You could paint them if they weren't the right color. I'll put those with my other buttons. However, while I was on there, I found butterflies. And these are wooden like buttons. And they're all different colors. And loving those. So I got those. And this was from Amazon. I just put in like wooden button to find it. Kathy Arbor has a link in her affiliate store, I believe. So I got that. That's, oh, I got one other thing that I got since last Saturday. I'm bad. I should not order so much. I got more distressed oxide. I know I have a problem. I got twisted citron, forest moss, evergreen bough, hickory smoke, blueprint sketch, aged mahogany, gathered twigs. I think that was it. So, and I did swatch these. I'll show you in here. I was just playing around on the same page and swatched them. Nope, not that journal. How you know you have too many journals going is when you can't put your hands on the one you need. So that's the Twisted Citron. That's the Hickory Smoke. That's the Aged Mahogany. That's the Gathered Twigs. That's the Evergreen. Oh, I got another one. I did get another one that's new. Crushed Olive. I did get Crushed Olive. I was working on my greens. And then this is the Blueprint, which is just a little more blue. That other one I have has got more purple in it. So now I need new storage. I haven't figured out how I want to store them, but they have outgrown the second storage thing that I've had. So that gives me about 3 or 4 different choices in green, a couple different choices in browns and blues, and a couple purples. So I still need more. Hi, Kathy Burke. Oh no, she's not here. You're just talking about she got the everything was from my creative scrapbooks except for the wooden buttons. The kit is a monthly subscription. Well, the mixed media kit is not. You can buy it just as a single month, I thought. The limited scrapbook one. All the papers are from mycreativescrapbook.com from the subscription. All right, so I'm going to work on the Webster dictionary, and here's kind of what I did. It's from 1895. It's stitched. So I found that taking out pages wasn't going to work, like tearing out pages. But I knew that I wanted to kind of attach them Shauna style. So, because you can see what happens when I tore them out. I'm afraid like there's, other pieces came out. So it might come loose somewhere else. And what I'm going to do, like this one, I didn't want to glue together. I'll show you what I did in a minute to help reinforce where I did take them out. Excuse me. Where I took them out and I wanted to reinforce it, I glued the pages together, but I don't really want to glue over this vintage tape. So I'll probably just put some napkin or something washi to kind of reinforce that. Yeah, this tape's too yummy. So I did my math. I went in and counted or figured out how many pages there were in the book. 704. And then I started like dividing by 8. And then I divided those again. Then I divided. So I ended up doing this break. I think it was every 22 pages. And I came up with numbers. And then I went in and I found those pages and put a little tab. Where those tabs are between them, I took out some pages and glued them together. So I'll show you. So like I took out some pages. This is page 67 and this is page 84. And there's just 2 pieces of paper glued together. So when I took out the pages in the middle, I glued the 2 singles together so that there would be a double. This is a single. This is where this paper is going to go. And so what I'm going to do is insert the paper. And I'm just taking the ruler and the 2 pieces of paper. And this is super brittle, so it tears super easy. And I'm just tearing those pages out. And then I'm going to take and put glue. Yeah, it's coming. And then these I cut all the right size. And I'm going to glue these in here. And then I'll add little embellishments or trims. So that's what I'm going to work on. And then I may have to take out, and I did do some folds. Like, see, that's coming out, so that'll need to be secured. But I did do some folds for some pockets. I didn't do any decorating yet. These are, some of these pages are glued in doubles and some of these aren't. Like this is not. So. Hi, Judy. Hi, Gil. And this, I just use glue stick. And then see, I have this should have been glued to this one, but I didn't like have that idea at that point. I went through and glued most of the pages. I don't think I want a lot of pockets. What I'm going to do, if you weren't here last Saturday, my mother's maiden name was Webster, and we are related to the Websters. They're like cousins that to the Webster Dictionary people. I can't get it all the way back, so I don't know which branch. There's like 3 or 4 branches. I think we're in the Scottish branch, but I'm not positive. And I made a couple little pockets like this I just liked. And some of these are already glued in. And I don't care if there's little wrinkles. I'm going to embrace that. So see, a paper should have gone here. I may have put that paper in the wrong place. Or maybe I was 1 paper short. I'm just going to keep moving them up and then we'll. See, so I left the 2 single pages. Hi, Belinda. I would not have thought of this way to insert the pages, but that was how Shauna was putting some watercolor paper in one of her journals that she started. I don't know if she's gone back and worked in that journal much. And I thought it was a brilliant idea because you can still use these pieces, but I'm not taking like the stitching out. I'm not disturbing the stitching. The pages that I did take out are between these two glued pages. Yeah, I remember, yeah, I just hadn't, well, I don't watch all the watercolor doodle thing. I don't doodle. And I just picked out the pages that I liked from those kits and kind of put them in an order where they weren't. This is just coming out. This little tip is not helping me today. My goal is then I'm going to get on Ancestry and start working like generations back. And so like do my parents' tree and their parents and some pictures of them, and then go back a generation and go to my maternal grandmother and my paternal grandfather, who is a Webster. Basically what I did was I took out pages. I already cut the pages. I took the number of pages in the book and decided I just started dividing it equally until I got it broken down, and I had 33 inserts. And so I went every 22 pages and I marked it with a Post-it on that page. And then I glued some pages, and I took out pages between the two that I glued. So this is page 115 and 122. I tore out pages and then glued those together to kind of join that. And then this is two joined. This is two joined. And then these are the two singles. And the way that I'm attaching the pieces of paper is I'm just taking my ruler with the metal edge and tearing. And then I'm opening up these two pages, just using some of that art glitter glue. Okay. I don't think I can take that one. I'm going to take one from the back. The next one is special. And I think I made a special section for it, I hope. Yeah, I had some Mayflower too on my, well, he's my the funniest thing was we did our DNA. Both Bob and I had we both did our DNA with Ancestry. And my first goal was to find my dad's real father. When I was little, we knew that I knew because I overheard an adult conversation. My grandmother in 1940 married my dad's father, and she had my dad in 1940, and she had my uncle in 1942. But my uncle was put up for adoption. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Pearl. So what happened is her husband was abusive, was my understanding, and that he like beat her and left her all beaten. And her parents said that they could get divorced if my grandmother gave my uncle up for adoption. He was just a baby at that time. And it was 1943. So in the middle of World War II. So she gave my uncle up for adoption. And my dad found my uncle later. He didn't really remember that he had a brother. He was at a park when he was about 13. And a boy walked up to him and said, "Is your name Eddie?" And my dad was like, "Yes." And he was asked questions. And my dad was like, "Yes, yes, yes." And he said, "I'm your brother." And because he knew that he was openly adopted, like it was through a church. So he had wonderful adopted parents. He wasn't upset. He wasn't mad. But all I knew was his name was Cottingham. So that was one of my main goals for getting on Ancestry.com, was I wanted to find my dad's father, and I wanted to get to some root of the truth of that, because nobody would talk about it. My grandmother sat in my parents' living room with my uncle and never acknowledged that he was her child. She treated him as though they were just friends of my mom and dad, which was so bizarre. But it was like she couldn't, like she was in denial. So I found him in the 1940s census. I found my mother's birth, and then I found him. And they weren't divorced at that time. They were still married. And then that gave me his name, which let me find his obituary. So a couple years later, I get a message on Ancestry.com, and it's this man who's got a very close match to me DNA, and he thinks that we're cousins. And so I look and I do some research, and I find out that he is my dad's half brother, because this man went and had another family with 2 kids, 2 boys, and abandoned them. So I have 2 uncles that no one knew about until I did the DNA. Like we would have never known. But that's not the only bizarre thing. When you do your DNA, then you get like little hits of people that might be related to you. And you can look at their family trees sometimes. These 2 are going next to each other because I cut this. So I have my grandpa Bo Camper, who is my dad's adopted father, who I love to death. He's my grandpa. You know, this other man I don't know. I just wanted to know my heritage. And I got a hit DNA-wise for somebody on his family tree. So I'm doing that tree just out of respect for him, and that they were the people that I knew. So I was like, that's so bizarre. I was like, that can't be. We're not blood. Like, he's not related to my dad. How can that be? So I thought, oh, Ancestry is just full of hooey. But I went on and I researched the name of and I looked at the tree, and look, there's old writing in this. Isn't that fabulous? And I went back and I was looking back on the tree, and so I kept doing the Bo Camper tree, and I saw this name, and I was like, I know that name. Like, I remember that name. So I went over on my mother's family tree, and on one side of my mother's family tree, I did hit peerage or royalty. And on my real mother's side and on my step grandfather's side, they're related way, way back through half siblings. Like they had the same mother, but the girl was on my mom's tree and the boy was on my grandfather's tree. So, I mean, it just shows you how small a world it really was back then, because we're going way back. Oh, Shauna, can you post your channel link? So it has been an interesting journey. It started because Bob took a class too, and I had to do Bob's family tree. And I don't know, very many of you know that my husband, his mother was married 13 times. Yes, I said it. 13 times. I had to do a family tree for a class that he was taking, and we had to list all the family and you had to show all the relationships. So I used Ancestry.com to find all the marriages and all the family. And I found that one of the marriages wasn't legal because she got married before she was actually divorced in a different name. So that has been interesting. And, you know, I always said that I married, you know, that Bob was probably raised by, you know, he was a gypsy because we moved so much. And I did find Romanian lineage for Bob. And then I found a girl on Facebook, and we're really good friends, and they're related. Her and Bob are related. They have the same last name as her maiden name, and we figured out the connection. So I've really enjoyed and used my subscription. I've worked my tree quite extensively, and then I hit some walls and I need to get back on it. I'm excited about the new census that will come out during the 50s. So we're just about ready to have that census come out and release, and that'll release a lot more documents. So I thought this would be a really fun way. Hi, Brenda. Well, she married, Bobby's got 3 brothers that have the same dad. She married him twice, and she married another man twice. And what's crazy is she was married to her husband that she had when she passed away. She was 58 when she passed away, and they had been married for 18 years. So some of these marriages didn't last, but she was a little wild. She was redheaded, Irish. She dated Waylon Jennings. She was out on the road and was a backup singer for Hank Snow. Her daddy played for the Light Crust Doughboys for a while, which kind of gives you an idea why Bob comes naturally at guitar. In fact, Bobby's first guitar when he was about 6 was purchased for him by Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. So like I said, it's been a fun journey. And then what I'm going to do is come back and decorate some of the plain pages, use the little cutoffs and the little things that came in the kit that are flat. Yeah, I've gotten quite a few emails and worked with some people that have been really interesting stories. My dad's maternal grandfather was adopted, supposedly, but we really think that she was the maid's, was because he married his maid or housekeeper. She's not shown as the mother of this man, but we kind of think that maybe it was an illegitimate baby and they hid it. And this is the man that told my grandmother to put the baby up for adoption through the church. So, and they raised, one of my great aunts had a baby out of wedlock and they raised it as their son. So he did some, hi Kathy. He did some hinky stuff, sort of. All right, so there's another single. So I'm gonna, it's hard to fold them down into pockets without tearing that corner. So it's been, it's been fun. We were really surprised that Bobby didn't show Indian in his ancestry. And it could just be that he didn't get, he just didn't get that, because there's definitely Indian. One of his great grandfathers, I think it's one great or two greats, I forget now, I have to go look. He ran in the when they had the lined up all the people and you could go in Oklahoma and you could race and claim a plot of land. He did that and got land in Oklahoma, and he married an Indian woman. But I don't have, that's just the story. I don't have it documented because, well, that woman was married 5 times. I haven't found all of the people. So I'm still having a hard time going back with some of the people. Sometimes you hit like a wall. So I'm getting an extra page here too. So let's see if there's any interesting pictures. I kind of like this frog. That's not gonna, I'm just gonna leave it like that for right now, because these are the 2 that I'm gonna tear. No, I'll take that back. I'm gonna tear those two. But I found one of his on the Ep side. He had a great grandmother that was Indian, who I found on one of the Indian census, and when where they lived burned in Oklahoma, and she left with some missionary couple and ended up in Texas, and that's where she married Bobby's great grandfather and had Bobby's grandmother on his dad's side. Yeah, if you just, I mean, it's just fun. On the Bow Camper side, I found there was a family, and there's a famous poem written for one of them because they refused to go to church in church. They wanted to have church at home, and this was kind of in the 1600s, and they were imprisoned in their house, and they were going to be sent to Barbados, but the mother and the father died, and I don't know if the kids were sent. It's been a while since I read but there was a famous poem that was written for the woman named Suzanne. So you find really interesting stories when you start researching. I really want to go to the New York area. Bobby's got Romanian in one branch, which we always jokingly said that, See, I had this folded thinking it was probably going to be a pocket. So I'm going to leave that right now. Well, actually, I can go ahead and glue it. And then I'll just make tags to put in those little tucks. Bye, Belinda. And I think I'll fold this one. Do the same thing and make a tuck right here too. I don't know if I were to do my testing again, if I would do 23andMe. I'd actually like to do, I would like to do 23andMe, and I would like to have it all. I would like to do it again with 23andMe because it's different. They have different members, so you might find different information. I need a male Webster to take a DNA test, which I have one, but he's not actively, it's a cousin. He's not actively doing anything. Okay. There we go. Thank you, Kat. I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot of wet in this. So I think I'll keep whatever paints. I think I'll use the distressed oxide pads with the brushes and stencils. Maybe a little bit of paint here and there. But I think for the most part, I need to keep it not too much water. Like, I don't think I would use any sprays. Because I don't think I want to get it too wet. I think I want to keep it relatively dry. And I may end up having to take more pages out and glue some more together. So I need to catch up on everybody's videos. It's doing that blacking out thing I can see on my phone. So it's probably going to, I don't know if it's going to do it on the video, if it's doing it for everyone. I don't know if it's my internet. It was doing that to me at Shauna's. That flickering black screen. This would work on any book. If it's glued, I haven't done a lot of this. If it's glued, Joy DeVee is who I watched, and she was like, every 10 pages, take out so many. I was looking on her video, and she was talking about setting them up, and she went through a bunch of books and decided whether they would be good for a journal or not good. So I really recommend her channel. If somebody wants to find the link for Joy for her channel, that would be fabulous. She does a lot of altered book journals. And Shauna is who I saw do this and add the paper in. And so when I realized that this was stitched, see, there's writing right there I don't really want to get rid of. That's right. That's the spelling is right. Is it blacking out for y'all? And hi, Jilly, by the way. So I think what I'll do is I want that writing. And you could use score tape for some of this. Like I said, I am going to add some washi in here. There's a lion for Eileen. I took out pages. We have done 4 weeks. Next week will be the 5th week. We are still all at home online right now. The plan is tentatively for there are some students in the middle school that are going to come back and they're going to have babysitters. It's going to be internet cafe. So they'll be in groups assigned to rooms, and they'll just log on to the internet just like they do at home. It's just they'll be at school. I don't think it's the best plan, personally. I wouldn't want my child. All right, I'm going to have to. All right, I'm going to take out these pages. Because I need to make a little more room. And then I'm going to glue this page to this page to kind of lock all that in a way so you don't really see it. And I may find a couple more places to do this and take out a few more pages. Okay. Trying to get it lined up a little bit better. So I'll take out again. Those and glue those together. And that should give me some more wiggle room. And that makes that very thick. Okay, so then that puts me right there to these pages. Like I said, I'm going to come back and add some focal images, photographs. I think I'm going to do the family trees in Word. And then come in and add them in places. And then when I know that, I'm going to probably do some tabs for the different generations. Yeah, it's not great for science because you can't really do hands-on, but it's doable. Okay. I'm going to take this page out and glue this. But I don't think it's what they're going to do when they go to school is they're going to sit in a room. I'm going to sit in a room with like 13 kids when I go to school around the 13th of October is the tentative date. They are all going to be in their classes online. They're not in the same schedule. They're just a group of kids. I'll be teaching my classes and babysitting them at the same time. Now, I don't understand how that's going to happen. Like how I'm going to babysit and teach. And we don't have very many kids that are choosing to come back. But I think that's why they're starting them with other staff right now, is because they're hoping that some of these parents will go, no, my kid is better off in the comfort of their own home. Because we're not changing the way we're teaching all year. It will be internet cafe. So literally they're just coming if they need a place to sit. They're not getting one-on-one. That's not the intention at all. No one's going to wander around the room and say, you're not on the right page, do this, do that. You're just, because you need to be in adult supervision. That's who's coming to school. So from what, now there has been some talk about some special population kids being put with the special pop teachers in very small groups. See, I tore 3. So I think I'm just going to glue this up and there'll be 2 pages. Hi, Emmy. Wow, that's exciting. See, there's supposed to be another page, but I'm going to keep that. I'm a little off my count, but I'm needing to get some room. So I'm just going to take these pages out, glue that together. keep that. That's good. All right. And then I think I'm going to take some more out. Put this here. And I think I'm going to take this out. And then glue that together. And I'm leaving a little bit of that paper there. So it'll give me a little room, but not, it's not like tearing it out completely. Yeah, it's not the best school for some kids. I think it's really hard for elementary, but middle school and high school, they should be held accountable. They are capable of following simple directions, but they don't follow simple directions. They're on their phone, they're watching TV, they're playing games. You can tell, you can see that they're not listening to you. They turn their camera off. Hi, Norma. But progress reports come out Monday, so there are going to be some surprised young children and their parents. You got to turn it in. If you don't turn it in, you can't get a grade. And then their question is, how do I raise my grade? How about do your assignments? And so far, I'm not like refusing to take anything. I'm not taking any points off for being late. Just go in and turn it in. We're not talking super hard assignments either. All right. So, see, I am getting really thick. But I think I'll just have to kind of smash it down once I get it in there. I'm getting close to being done. Or I may have to go in and take some more pages out because it's still not wanting to close. Hi, Stephanie. Okay. So I'm going to work on getting these pages in, and then what I may end up doing is going in and taking out some of the ones that are glued together and glued to double, you know. Keep working on pulling pages wherever I can. We have high school students who have jobs that are not, but they're just doing the async. They're not going to the live classes. So if our kids don't come to the live class, then they can go and do the async lesson. And the teacher goes back and marks the attendance that they did the async. And that helps them get that credit. Because like I said, we have kids that they're maybe the only one working. I don't have any kids that are babysitting except one I know of. But yeah, high school might be more likely. That's why I think it's super important that if elementary could get back to school, it's probably more essential than middle school and high school. But we'll see. Yeah, this is a dictionary I bought from 1895 from Johnny. And I'm just inserting some vintage looking papers. That I pre-cut. And it has a sewn binding. It's stitched. So I'm trying to be a little careful how I take the pages out. So it didn't just fall apart. In fact, like I said, I may end up coming back here and taking out, like right here, I could take this out. And then glue these together right here. And then in places I'll put washi, like right here I'm going to put some washi tape in some of the areas. And some of them I might put a napkin across the binding or sewing tissue. I'm going to leave those the way it is. Okay, let's see. I think I could take, I'm just trying to get some room. So I'm just going back and taking out some stuff. And then I'll glue that together. I think that'll help in some areas where it's still, if I go back and I wasn't sure how much I needed to take out, but I think I think I also need to get these like conditioned to, there's some of these scrapbook papers are so stiff. They like don't really move. You know, they're such heavy weight. See, this can come out easily. I know it's not real exciting TV. It's very repetitive, but I wasn't sure how much to take out or to leave in. Okay, I could have taken one more out. I think I could have taken this one out. Where I just glued this, I can take this out. I can take that gives a little more. I think I'll go to the back and start working from the back. Okay, I'm going to take some of this out. Yeah, that I don't have a book press, but I'm sure I can weight it down. It's what I do with the journals too, is when they get really bulky, I just keep them under pressure when I'm not in it. Also, if some of part of it is the scrapbook paper right now is not flexible at all. I think I'm just going to use this glue for this one. Okay, and there's 2 pages. Apparently I can't tear, I can only tear one way. And the paper all came from 3 sets that I've gotten from My Creative Scrapbooks, plus I had some Tim Holtz. It's all double-sided with a kind of vintage theme. Okay, so here's some room. Here's some area to take out. Some bulk. That's, I'll take out all of this. Okay. And I think I'll use this glue again. And just kind of pull them up and match them. that. No. Bobby doesn't do woodwork. Bobby doesn't do... Bobby's advice when something breaks is to buy a new one. He's musically inclined. Yeah. I have everybody, for the most part, everybody shows up, Stephanie. I'd like, we have had, other grades have had problems like inappropriate language. They give the link to somebody who doesn't go to our school, and the older kids do what they call Zoom bombs. We have not had that problem in 6th grade at all. My biggest problem is I say, like, click on this and do this, and it's like crickets. And the ones that do it just fine. It's not like it's hard. They're probably just clicking on it and answering a question. But I've got some kids that won't ask. We were taking a map test, and I had somebody go to a breakout room and sit for an hour. She said she was ready, like meaning my test is up, I'm ready to start answering questions. She hadn't even logged into the website because she was lost at what to do. But she was so shy. We can't use Google Classroom Meet. We have to use Zoom. We have the district bought Zoom accounts. So they are, you have to have a Harmony email to get into the Zoom. They're authenticated. We're not using Google Classroom. We're using something called Schoology, which I like. It's got more, it syncs to Skyward for the grades. So I don't have to do grades in different places. Eventually, more of it's going to even sync. But like I can do an ed puzzle. Yeah, nobody can get from the outside unless they have the link. And now if they don't have a Harmony email, this was before the district, they just didn't figure out, of course the kids figured out stuff before the adults did. I didn't use Zoom in the spring. I would do StreamYard, and I would do a private link, and I would send it to my kids, and I would be on live, and I would show my screen, but they weren't in there. It wasn't mandatory. And then it got to the point where I didn't even do the lives because nobody was coming and asking me any questions. They were just watching the recordings once I put them up. So I started just doing the recordings, and that worked just as well. But in the spring, we were using Google Classroom. And the state of Texas says they have to have, we have to offer live and async. Yeah, the high school kids. Yeah, I've used Dojo before. That's more of an elementary school app. That most of the middle school and high school teachers won't use it. But I've used it. So my kids are really good. Their biggest problem is they don't want to turn their cameras on because they're shy. So some of them have blankets up on their head or stuffed animals in front of their face. But I don't care. I mean, they're just shy about being on the camera. Is there? My wish is this: if they didn't understand, if they would tell me, I don't know where I'm supposed to be, Miss Epps, would you show me? And I would gladly show them. But they don't ask. Make a full little pocket there. And that just kills me. Because in the classroom, I would be walking around and I would be like, why are you not taking notes? Why are you not using your notes on the quiz? I said, you could use your notes. I would be like, I would see that they weren't doing what they're supposed to do. And it's too hard to see. I mean, there are ways to see, but I can't, there's too many of them. And I can't always monitor it or get them to go do it. So a lot of times I'm emailing them and saying, you left class and you didn't do X, Y, Z. You need to go in and do that. And for the most part, they don't have homework, you know. Yeah, we have had somebody caught their kid playing a game on another device, and they grounded them, and yeah, because they're kids. But like I said, they're going to figure out, wait a minute, these grades count. See, the problem, we kind of created this problem, well, the district did, in my opinion, is they were too lenient in the spring. Nothing had due dates. Nothing was mandatory. So there were some bad habits set up there. Okay, let's see. Those are my 2 pages. Let's take out. Let's take all of that out. So, like I said, Monday is going to be a reality check when they get their progress report. And they find out, oh, yeah, she really meant I had to do that assignment. She's really going to take a grade on it. They'll still be able to make up that work for the most part, but it'll only be worth a 70. Now, see, you only got paperwork if you didn't have the internet, and they sent out hotspots for now. So I only had 1 student not have the internet last year. Now, they do have problems getting kicked off Zoom and like some of them, we've had problems with the internet, but they just go in and do the lesson and they get credit for being there, even though they, you know, they just have to do the assignments and they get credit. So if they don't come to physical class, it's not, you know, not like the end of the world if they get bumped out or something. It's all the planning that's killing me, because I have tons of stuff, but it's not digital. Like, you know, all the work that we did in the past in the labs and those things, I just can't use them. I gotta go and create digital stuff. So you got to put everything in the Schoology format and create it in either a Google assignment or some digital form in Schoology. That's what takes time. Yeah, they disappear, Dot. You see their face, then you don't see their face, and you hear a little doorbell ding that somebody left. So, yeah. I have a list of participants. And it's a class of like 27 is my biggest class. So, like I said, they're good kids. They're really good. They've been, I just wish they would, like, they start things in class and they don't finish them. And so then they never go back and finish it. And I'm like, hello, remember that paper we were working on? You didn't do it. You didn't turn it in. You got to hit the button that says review, and then you got to hit the button that says finish to turn it in. Oh, I don't care. They're responsible for the assignments. There are kids that don't come on a regular basis, but they got to do the assignments. We have some kids that are on async that don't come to live for whatever reasons. They don't get the benefit of my help. They don't hear me teach. You know, if the school is providing computers, the school is providing hotspots. So, you know, there's some responsibility that falls on them. And they usually, if they get kicked out, come right back. They get kicked out because they have spotty internet, or we're having storms. Some of them have older devices and they can't do Schoology and Zoom. So, yeah, they could lie. I mean, people, you know, we had real school people lied. I worked way more than I did, yes. Because I mean, it didn't take me long to run paper. I know I'd spent time at the copier running off papers, but I wrote on the board and they took notes. Well, I can't write on the board and them take notes. So, you know, I got to put it in Nearpod. I got to do this. You know, there's just a lot more turning every assignment into digital. Takes. And we were lucky that our curriculum was based on 5 days, and then they decided we were only going to teach 3 days. So I have to teach everything in 3 days versus 5 days. So I lost a lot of time. She can come in if she's not a pain. And Tay-Tay's a bad coworker.
Mom said you'd come in.
She doesn't like Zoom, and she doesn't like 6th graders. Don't lock her in, though, baby. Just leave it open. She'll come in if she wants or comes out. Yeah. Tay-Tay is... Yeah, I did see some that I liked at a meeting the other day, but I'm so tired I just don't even want to contemplate them or try to I'm trying to keep it super simple for my kids. Yeah, if you can find them. Most of the virtual labs are for older kids or really young kids. There's not a lot of virtual available that I have found. Okay. All right, so we want to, I want that skeleton. So I think I'll take out this page. But the whole time I teach, Tay is bugging me. I've had to get the water bottle, y'all, and give her the water bottle. Ooh. I hope I didn't. Yeah, I took the page I needed. Oh, well. I'll make it work. So I have this year and 3 more, and then I can retire. And I'm super excited about that. Hi, Didi. All right, I'm going to have to add some glue to this. Thanks, Didi. All right. I think we're getting down to the end. All right, so I'm going to take that page out. I think I can take, let's put this in before I take out and glue. Well, masks are not, they help, but they're not PPE. Most of the masks people wear. And if we went back to school and everybody went back, that's a lot of kids to be in contact with every day. And the people they're all in contact with. That's my only issue. Okay, so I'm going to take that out. Yeah, it's hard. To say. Some of it's speculation. You know. Okay, I'm just gonna go through, and areas where I can take paper out, I'm gonna take some more paper out just to help. Lighten the load. Mm. Schools are crowded places from the get-go. So it is hard. Even like flu season's hard at school. And kids don't stay home that are sick often. So we'll see. I don't know. I think we got it all glued. It just could be some places to take out. Like I said, it's going to have to. It's going to close fine now, I think. I think I have enough. It's sitting. When it sits flat and there's the weight, there's no fines here that I know. That was crazy. I mean, some of that riot stuff is just a trip. And, all right, let's clean that up. Put that lid back on there. And the pen. See, we have high COVID numbers. 1 in 30 at TCU are positive for COVID students since they've gone back. But I don't know. They don't report the numbers like they did. So I don't know. I don't know if they're testing, not testing. They are taking our temperature if you go to the school. It's pretty cool. You walk up to like a little iPad and you stand in a little people outline and it takes your temperature. So they are taking the temperature. They don't have to fill out any paperwork when they come to school, the ones that are coming back every day. Like I keep reading on the internet, some people have to fill out like a 15-question thing for every kid. So I don't know. Even when we go back, they'll still all be on the internet. Yeah, that's what we were talking about the other day is one of the tests that they use, one of the girls who's a nurse said it cannot distinguish between the flu and the COVID. Like, it just knows it's a virus, like there's a virus present. Only the blood work, which I didn't really realize. So I don't know. All above my pay grade. The majority of our kids are going to do online school all year. And the ones that want to come will be internet cafe. Yeah, those people were out there of their free will. Some of them had masks, some of them didn't have masks. We see people in the store all the time, no mask. We just stay away from people. We don't go anywhere unless we have to, and we're just really trying to limit our exposure ourselves. I think I'm going to glue this. And then make this into a pocket. Well, I don't want it. And I worked really hard at social distancing and staying in my home, but I see a neighborhood full of kids that don't social distance, that play together all the time. Parents don't wear masks. So I do have my hesitation about being around 170 students, and I don't know where they've been or what they've done. And they're sixth graders are nasty, y'all. Yep, I did take pages out, Dee Dee. I took and it's stitched. So wherever I took pages out, I glued the two pages together to kind of, so like what I've ended up taking out, and there was a lot of pages. The book had 700 some. This is all the pages I ended up taking out. And I added like 34 pieces of scrapbook paper. So I think the next thing I want to do is add some washi tape. The masks that we use, probably very, very limited. They're not PPE. I mean, Doc can probably speak to that. Hi, Deborah. Yeah, because it was like 700 and some odd pages. It's a dictionary from I just threw it away, 1895. And I'm going to turn it into, this is my family, the Websters. My mother's maiden name was Webster. So I'm going to take information from my ancestry.com and do photographs and family trees and things like that and put it in here. Yeah, they do the micro spray. I don't know what that, I don't know. I don't know if it does any good or doesn't do any good. Some of that depends the size of the virus, how effective those things are. We don't have PPE. If the mask that we where if they get really wet, they're going to be less effective, I believe. But we wear them in the store. I don't wear it all day. I'm really, really not looking forward to like wearing one all day. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm going to struggle with that. And it's going to be hard for my kids to hear me on the computer. I would rather just keep teaching the way we're teaching. If we're going to teach this way, I'd rather they just continue. I wouldn't send my kid back to school to sit in a room and do the same thing they could do at home. So I'm just going to add some washi in different places. Okay. That definitely needs something. Trying to find the ones that match or they're more vintage. Yeah, our kids had the choice to work from home or to come to school. But again, like I said, it's internet cafe. It's not, they're not going to their classes with their teachers. They're going to be in the same room, in the same desk all day long. They'll be online. They're just coming there because they need to be supervised. They need a babysitter. So the kids that'll be in my room will not be the kids that are in my class. Look at that lovely little tape. We had to remove all our personal items from our room. It was weird. It was like what you do at the end of the year. Typically, well, normally I put it in my storage room, but they wouldn't let me do that this time. So we have to wear masks, and they're going to provide shields, but you can't just wear a shield and no mask, is what we were told. Okay, see, I'm going to take this out because I can. And Let me glue those together. And this stain was made, somebody who owned the dictionary made two little bookmarks, it looks like, with newspaper. So I want to use those somewhere because it has their writing on it. So, well, this one doesn't, but this one does. But that's what left those stains, is that was like a little bookmark that they had stuck in the dictionary. Yeah, because it has the vents that go out. So it protects you, but it doesn't protect others. Okay, so here's one that needs some washi. It's hard because I would hate to have a student die of COVID. I already had a student lose a dad from COVID. And I would hate to have the students lose a teacher, possibly. You know, it's hard when you lose kids or kids experience loss, but they are experiencing loss, so it's hard. Okay. Oh, here's another area where I can probably take out. This won't give me so many pages to have to decorate either, since it's such a big book. Okay, keep looking for places that definitely need washi. Okay. Make a pocket here. Okay, leave that. Leave that. It's Timmy washi. Okay. Just going to embrace the wrinkles. See, that one needs some washing. That one definitely needs washi. That is true. Oh, I like that one together. Goes good with that dark. Yeah, she could have Dot. Oh, that definitely needs washi. It needs a wide one, so I'm going to go. Excuse me, people. Oh. I think part of the problem is we all quarantined too early in areas where it wasn't affecting us. If we waited till it was more, like New York needed to quarantine when they did, but I don't know that the rest of the country needed to at that point. I don't think it had worked its way in some areas, so we closed our economy down maybe too early instead of waiting and doing it at the appropriate time. But I'm not a doctor, not a COVID expert. Don't email me, people. All right. Well, like when they closed us down, we didn't have any cases. Now, we did later. It was rampant. I think it's calmed down again, but like I said, they don't post the numbers anymore. I don't go out and look for them either. Okay, that's good. I think it's going to shut just fine. It's even getting where, but when you lay it, it sits, and it's not too bulky. And I think as some of these pages, some of these the scrapbook paper so so stiff, so thick right now. I think if some of this kind of loosens up potentially, I think I'm going to take that out. Yeah. Don't email me if you have a different opinion than me or anybody in the chat. Everybody, it's such a complex issue. And there are lots of things that mistakes were made on all around. Lots of people who did things that they shouldn't have done. You know, people went to parties at Memorial Day. College kids are having big parties. High school kids had COVID parties. Like they would invite people they knew that had COVID and expose themselves. I mean, that's crazy to me. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to turn out really good. The next step I'll need to get on Ancestry and like take some pictures that from and make trees for the different generations of Websters. And some of that I'm going to have to like just sort of really think it out and get things ready and kind of figure out how I want to space it. And I may leave room in the back for future generations because I have yet to get those pesky Websters across the pond. I believe they came from Scotland. But I don't know for sure. I just believe it's the Scottish branch, but a lot of the Scottish branch went to Canada, so I'm not sure. I know it is not John Webster, the governor, and I am pretty sure it's not Daniel Webster either. So, but I can't get, they keep using this. The problem is they use the same names over and over, and that's where I'm running into problems. Yeah, that would be, or I may just, once I print it, use like distress oxide and kind of go over the sides. But like his was George and his brother's Chauncey, and you think, okay, Chauncey's an unusual name. Nope. It was very common, and every Webster, they would have 7 or 9 kids, and every one of them would name one of their kids George and one of their kids Chauncey. So there'd be George the brother and George your cousin and Chauncey your brother and Chauncey your cousin. They're all in Albany, New York. They're all in New York State. So we know they're all related. Some of these are washies that I would not typically normally use. So I'm loving that I can use up some of the stuff that I have that I haven't maybe used. No, I bought this book from Johnny at an auction because I knew it was a Webster dictionary. And I know that's my family. So I bought it with the because it was, from, and I knew it. And I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time with it. I just knew that I wanted it. And then I decided that this is how I was going to use it. I just took, what I did was, I knew that I could divide by 2, and I started with that, or 4. And then I just kept breaking it down into smaller. And then finally I decided, okay, wait, every 22 looks like a good number because I wanted to space out the scrapbook pages. And they're not perfectly evenly spaced, but they're about the same with about the same old pages in. I'm not going to do now. Some of them do, like Johnny and them do a bunch of tip ins. And I'm not going to do that. trying to find more vintage. That blue is really pretty. I'm going to use that somewhere too. I like this Timmy one because a lot of it looks like vintage papers, ledgers, school papers. Let's put the okay. That was weird. That washi. And when I come in and collage and stuff, I'll reinforce some of this stuff with tape, with glue. I don't know how much that will help that seam, but it is really pretty on there. It's sparkly blue. Okay, that's good. I don't think that's gonna stay real well, so I'm gonna add some glue to that. It just like rolled off the roll. Okay, let's see. I think I'll use this one. I think this will just help reinforce. Now, go use that wide mat one again. Okay, getting close here. I'll go with that green again. We always do early voting, but our poll is we're like a little town. It's not really Fort Worth. So it's at a little rec center in town, and we've never had any problems. We've never had to wait long. So I'm not too worried about that. Just wear a mask and vote. Yeah, I'm getting close to being done. This one's pretty. Okay. I think that's, oh, I didn't glue this down. I don't think I'm going to glue it down. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to leave it and do something. Maybe I'll put some, I don't want to lose this boat, and I don't want to lose that skeleton. So, in fact, I need to glue this. Down here, so it's not a single page. I live in I live on the edge of Fort Worth, Dallas, Fort Worth, Dee Dee. So I'm not, where I live in Fort Worth, but where we vote is this little town. So I'm just literally right on, I'm in a big city, Dallas, Fort Worth, and I'm on the very southern bottom of it. I can glue that too. So if you go south, you go to the little town. If you go north, you go into Fort Worth. That's why we like to go shop south, because we can go to the little town. It keeps flashing. I don't know what the problem is. Is it? Oh, I don't like that. Ew, I hate Dallas. Driving in Dallas. I don't mind Fort Worth at all. I hate Dallas. I don't mind Houston. I hate Dallas. I don't like to go over there at all. And we don't drive far. We live like 5 minutes down the road from my school. But like when we shop and stuff, we go south to the two little small towns that are just south of us. Like I said, I don't mind driving in Houston. I don't like to drive in Dallas, but part of it is I'm just not, their freeway system, I'm not as familiar with it, I guess. And I'm more familiar with Houston. Because when I lived in Corpus, we would come up to Houston if you were going to come up, and shop and stuff. And when I lived in Lake Jackson, we went up to Houston. I think the thing is that why I like Houston better than Dallas is I just know my way around. So I know, I know how to where to get over, and I know what to do. Where in Dallas, I get lost. They were in Allen. I don't think I've ever been through Atlanta. Been through Baton Rouge, been through Mobile, lots of places in Florida. When we were in California, we just went on the old Highway 1. We didn't go on the 101 unless we had to when we were leaving because of mudslides. So we just went there on one trip. I don't have. How does a person whose favorite color is turquoise not have any washi that is turquoise? That is something amiss that needs to be changed. Yeah, those were professional identity thieves. I forget where Allen is. I think it's outside of Dallas. I know it, but I don't know it. Oh, it's down in the valley, I think. I take that back. I think it's down in the valley. Yeah, Louisiana. I have friends that lived in Baton Rouge that we used to go visit all the time. It does not want to stay together. Here we go. I think this is a place for some more of that pretty blue. Vegas was easy to drive. It's a pain. Like, we never took the freeway because they don't have a lot of choices. So if there's an accident, it backs up really bad. But we never took the freeway. No, turquoise. Like, right? What is wrong with me? How does that happen? It's when you buy packages of big bundles and you don't really pick it out yourself individually. You get a set of 30, or you get, very few of them are ones where I bought, like there were 5 that I went and liked all of them. Okay. We're almost done. That one needs some. Okay. Oh, yeah, and you can't do it any other way but to go, right? This one's a super skinny one. I'm just going to put it right here. More as an accent. I think that's good. I think I'm like, that's enough decision making today. I can always come back and add more washi here or there if I think I need it. I don't know what I'm going to do with the cover. I have not decided. I want the Webster to stay. I wish there was a way. I thought for sure that I could I don't know if I could get fins and get that to go in there and bring that out. I might experiment on the back with it and see what I can get it to do. I haven't decided exactly what I want to do with the front of it. So I'm pleased with where I got so far today. Now it's just about, now the fun part is finding the stuff in Ancestry, getting it ready, the photographs, which may take a while, the part on the computer, and then when I get all of that accumulated, then I think I want to come back to the book. So it's probably going to sit for a while. Thanks, Dee Dee. Thanks for hanging out. So I think I'm going to let it sit on the shelf and kind of just let it rest. And the next step will be going on and kind of figuring out how I want to create and I want the pieces that go in. Essentially, I kind of want them to go like this so that I can put them in and add things around them. So I don't want anything to be really bigger than this size, but then I'm going to go in and add some of the pieces and the sentiments and, like I said, photographs. I know that this can be super busy, so I may end up doing some color, I may block some of this out with some paint here and there, but I feel like I'm at a good place. Now I just need to, the next step is to get all of and I'm really leaning towards putting that on the front around that ring, especially if I can get that gold in there or metallic. Yeah, this is a Webster dictionary, and that is my mother's maiden name. So I'm going to take information and photographs from ancestry.com and work the front of the book from my generation all the way back and leave some space to keep going back and put photographs and little trees. And then I'll go in and add, I've got lots of little die cut things that came with the papers that I put in there that I can go in and make little pages decorative or mount little tags that I can tuck. So the next part will be kind of the hard part, and will take a while, I think, because I think some of it I'm gonna start with a comp book and write down a bunch and get it organized and then go to the computer. So like I said, I'm pretty sure I want that on there. And this is an opportunity. I'm not a big floral person. This is an opportunity to put some flowers on the front too, because it's going to be more vintage. So, but you could take any book and do your family, an old, any old book. I do think, from what I understand from Joy, if you get books that are glued and not sewn, it's better you can take out the pages. It's much easier that it's easier to take them out. And I want to say she was like going 2 or 3 pages, and then like every 10 she was taking out 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm not going to decorate the cover until the very end. The next thing I need to do is computer work and start gathering my photographs and my little scripted family trees. And then once I get that, then I can come in and put them in here and decide if I want to watercolor or stamp or put some paints or use some of these scraps from these papers on other pages. These sets all came with little die cut punches. So I know that I'll have lots of this stuff to use. There's even some chipboard stickers. This was 3 sets. No, 4 sets. There's the vintage one, the violets. I've got 3 from my creative scrapbook that will work. And 1 was Timmy double-sided paper, but I don't have very many punch outs of that. So those kits came with those paper kits that I got from My Creative. This is all punch outs. These are all little die cut ephemera pack that matches. These are vintage looking chipboard stickers. So things like this could be used. Now I may have to worry about the chipboard might be too thick. But you know, like, of course I can't find that paper. But you know, like something like that could be put down with a photograph or a list of that family tree. And then I want to do tabs for the generations. So the next step will be working on the computer. So I probably will not, it may be January before I get it out and work on it again. Because realistically, Thanksgiving, Christmas might be the first time I really can work on the computer and actually do that. However, I could do it when I'm watching TV. Go to Ancestry. I'm going to go to Ancestry and I'm going to write down stuff in a comp book so that when I go to the computer, I'm not trying to flip back and forth. So I'll probably just take a pen and just start working in here. To be honest, is probably how I'm going to do it. And then this will also help me. I used to have a notebook and I would write down leads or ideas or thoughts that I wanted to, when I would see something or find something. And I started it by, and I'll probably, that's what I need to do again, because that I've stopped. So this will end up getting divvied up. So I'll start with like listing things, and then this will be my research folder. This will be the pretty version. This will be the coffee table version. This will be the working version. So that's where I'm at with that. But next Saturday, my goal is to come back and work in my comp journals some more, I believe. I want to keep working in this one. This one needs more color added. It doesn't have enough foundation yet. So there's a finished page in there, but it doesn't have enough color in there. There's a couple background pages that we did, but it needs more. It needs more layers of foundation. This all has the foundation. So this one is the one I'm going to get back on next Saturday, adding more layers of paint, collaging, like this stuff I got from Teresa. I'll probably collage in one of these that has nothing on it. I'm not sure of that page, but actually I kind of like it. Kind of like it on that page. And I'll probably put I think this could be I think that could be interesting. So that's kind of what I'll do next Saturday, is work on that and get back to my comp journal project that I love. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. Yeah, I highly recommend Ancestry.com. The DNA testing, it's fun. And digging in your past can be really, really interesting what you find in those archives and what you see. And then you can meet the people that you're connected with several generations, how you're somehow tied together. And you can talk to those people too, like message, and there's boards. So I'm not on there all the time. I was on there really heavy when I started, and I need to get back to working on it again. So thanks for hanging out, ladies.